So, some KNUT officials have not been paid for over a year, and they got auctioneers to raid KNUT offices and take office equipment. I'll tell you more about that in a few. Plus, a Kenyan has gotten into the Guinness World Book of Records. Stick around to know why exactly he got there. Now, you, my friend, are just in time for this and all the day's important news and trending stories. Welcome to Speedfeed. Mr. Kimani Mbugua is my name, and here on Speedfeed, we take a look at the day's biggest news and stories that you need to know. The comment section is always open because we are live. Yes, you can give me your comments below. Give me your thoughts and reactions as well to the stories that we have on the feed today. I'll be reading them as we go on, your reactions and comments. And if you're on Facebook, please share the stream with your friends. I know you're watching. I can see you. You're watching. So sure, the button is right there below, and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. Let's start our feed today with KNUT, because things are not so good there, or not so good. So the Union of Teachers offices on Mfagana Street here in Nairobi, they were raided by auctioneers yesterday who took away office equipment and furniture. So the auctioneers were sent by KNUT officials from other parts of the country who have not been paid for over 2 years, and they have been seeking help from the courts to recover their money, and so they sent auctioneers. And the union's deputy secretary, Hesbon Otieno, confirmed that KNUT owes about 1.4 million shillings to other entities, and he was not aware of these outstanding debts before assuming office. Imagine getting into office and auctioneers breathing over your neck is the first thing you have to deal with, because KNUT has just had new leadership, and this is one of the hurdles they had to deal with. So they closed the offices temporarily yesterday because after this happened. Yeah, that's the latest from KNUT after the exit of Wilson Sossion, who after the elections that happened about a week ago. Now, something else that's happening right now, ODM's Raila Odinga is in Nyeri. He's in Kieni at the funeral service of the late Mama Esther Ngonyo Githaiga. She's the mother to Honorable Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu was a member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly. This is in Nyange village in Kieni constituency. Kanini Kiaga is speaking there right now. They're at that funeral, and Raila Odinga will be speaking in a few. Yeah. Now, from unions and coalitions, that's KNUT. Yeah. It's called the Kenya National Union of Teachers. Yeah. Now, from unions to coalitions, the One Kenya Alliance, differences are emerging within the leadership, which is comprised of Gideon Moi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, and Moses Wetangula. And where are these differences coming from exactly? They're stemming from the possibility of One Kenya Alliance forming a coalition with handshake partners President Uhuru and Raila Odinga. So they're not all in agreement of how to go about that. Now, it is being reported that Gideon Moi is for the idea of forming a coalition with both President Uhuru and Raila Odinga, or a coalition supported by both of them. But the rest of the principals who were former leaders of the NASA coalition are not for the idea of making a deal with Raila Odinga again. Now, One Kenya Alliance is also divided. Now, that aside, whether they're going to go ahead and make a coalition with Raila or Uhuru, that aside, they still have their own differences because they're divided on how to draft a legal and binding agreement, because some of its principles are undecided on formally joining the coalition. So they're still going around that issue. And the main question here, and this is what everyone has been waiting for, who will be the One Kenya Alliance flag bearer? Who is going to take the lead and be the presidential candidate, and who is going to deputize them? Because there's Gideon Moi, there's Kalonzo Musyoka, there's Musalia Mudavadi, and Moses Wetangula. Yeah, so who is going to take the lead? And they are yet to tell us. So that's another issue that they have not also come to an agreement on. Meanwhile, still in political conversations, give me your reactions to that. Who do you think is going to be the flag bearer of the One Kenya Alliance? Let me open up so I can see your comments here on the Kenyans.co.ke. Yes, we'll talk about other stories in politics today, but give me your reactions. I'll be reading them as we go on with the show. Now, still in political conversations and coalition development stories, ODM's Raila Odinga, he met leaders from the Kisii region yesterday. And if you've been wondering why this meeting happened with Kisii leaders, it was a bit unexpected. The reason why it happened, it was to iron out differences between Interior CS Fred Matiang'i and Kisii Governor James Ongwae, who have been beefing since the Bonchari by-elections. And said Fred Matiang'i was trying the ground and seeing what kind of influence he has on the ground because of that, and that ended up pitching him against Kisii Governor James Ongwae. And they haven't been seeing eye to eye, and Raila Odinga came in to mediate peace between them. And the meeting also included other leaders from that region, including Professor Sam Ongeri. It's been a while since we've heard about Sam Ongeri in the news, right? Yeah? Remember, he was once the Minister for Education. If your results were read by Sam Ongeri, I'm totally deviating from this issue. Because this is the first time we've seen him in the news for a while. Yeah? If your results were read by Sam Ongeri, how is your firstborn doing at this time? Anyway, I digress. But a statement from ODM after this meeting yesterday indicated that the leaders, that is Matiang'i and Ongwae, agreed to put aside their post-Bonchari differences and unite for the betterment of that region. Felix is smiling so hard because this news is from his region. And also something that came up from that meeting is that elders from the Gusii community want to install Fred Matiang'i as an elder and a spokesman for the region. Yeah, that's why they had a meeting with Raila Odinga yesterday, in case you're wondering why. But that's in politics today. Denzel Chris is here, tuned in live. Where are you watching from, Denzel? Tell me where you're watching from. Thank you for those of you who are sharing now on Facebook. Please share the video. Yeah, it's not going to cost you anything, and I'm sure your friends are going to appreciate that you shared with them our show. Yeah, we work so hard to bring you this show, compiling the stories. And I'm not alone, by the way, in studio, as we have a team of people who are behind the camera here. Yeah, so it's good. Share with your friends, yeah, so that they can feel nice about themselves. Anyway, you might have seen the story of a man named Nnamdi Kanu in the news today and yesterday. And if you're one of those people who are wondering why he was getting coverage, well, it is because of a diplomatic situation that has pitted Kenya, Nigeria, and the UK against each other regarding his arrest and extradition. So, who is Nnamdi Kanu? Exactly. He's a Nigerian and UK citizen who is the leader of a group that has been outlawed by the Nigerian government. It's called the IPOB, or the Indigenous People of Biafra, which pushes for Biafra to be declared an independent state from Nigeria. And the whole Biafra story there's a whole lot of history behind it. If you can read about the Biafra War in between 1967 and 1970. So this particular guy, he's wanted by the Nigerian government, and he has been on the run. But he was presented in court on Wednesday this week, and prosecutors in Nigeria said that he was arrested in the UK, but the UK government denied that and said they did not extradite him. He was not arrested in the UK. So it later came out that he was actually arrested in Kenya last Saturday at the JKIA, according to his family. And Nigerian court ordered, though, that he be detained until July 26th, although his family is asking for his release and that he be allowed to go back home in the UK. Yeah, so that's why Mr. Kanu is in Kenya news today. Now, to other matters, on Wednesday, I gave you a breakdown of how you will pay more for internet bundles and airtime if President Uhuru Kenyatta assented to a bill that has proposed to increase excise duty for data and calls. Now, it was fingers crossed then, but stop crossing your fingers now and start preparing to pay more for data bundles, because President Uhuru assented to that bill. So you will officially pay for more for data bundles and calls. Some networks have already started informing their customers that they have increased call rates. It will also increase this bill will also increase the price of cooking gas and the cost of loans. Yeah, if you didn't catch that breakdown, we put a link in the description below. Yeah, you can see it there. You can click on it to see that video where I, broke down why you will be paying more for data bundles. It's right there. Meanwhile, for this and more stories, everything that you need to know that is happening in the country, the latest, go to Kenyans.co.ke. Yes, fantastic. I love this graphic, actually. It shows you how the website is. And as I always say, you see the latest news tab there? Pull that again. Yeah, the latest news tab. It's indeed the latest news because the news is arranged according to, in a chronological order. There it is, latest news. So you can find all the latest from Kenyans.co.ke. If your bundles run out and you need to catch up with the latest, head over there. Now, speaking of paying more money for bundles, China has refused to disperse more loan money to Kenya for Chinese loans or for Chinese loan funded projects because Kenya has requested for the extension of a debt holiday that was given to us in January. They haven't wanted that debt repayment holiday to be extended to December because it expired in June. But Chinese banks have declined that request. They want their money back. So debt repayment takes out a chunk of money from the country's budget every year. And in the last 1 year, because of how things have gone, the country hasn't done so well in terms of collection of revenue. And Treasury wanted more time to get their act together. But according to the Business Daily, contractors who are working on Chinese debt-funded projects claim that banks in China are not processing their invoices, which is set to stall the project. So they're not giving more money until Kenya commits to start paying back those debts. How much is our debt to China right now? It stands at about 780 billion shillings. This is how much we owe the Chinese for all of the roads and the bridges and the railways that we have gotten. Yeah, it's time to pay back the money. They say we know you have to start paying back. We gave you a holiday of 6 months. It was enough time to get your act together. Yeah, but Treasury hasn't. They're feeling uncomfortable. Yeah. Now, speaking of projects, the Rironi Mau Summit Road that is being constructed and a PPP. What's a PPP? Public-private partnership. Yeah, that's a deal, between the government and private companies. So you will have to pay at least, or this is actually the amount that you will pay, 6 shillings per kilometer to use that road. Heavy vehicles and trucks will pay 30 bob extra. They'll pay 36 shillings per kilometer. So do the math. The road is 175 kilometers long. So you will pay 1,050 shillings for driving a private car or small car. And if you operate a truck or a heavy vehicle, it will cost you 6,300 to go for the 175 kilometers. Now, if you can't afford it, don't worry. Kenya says there will be alternative routes for you to use. And the private companies who will construct this road, they will operate it for 30 years until they recover their money, and then they'll hand it over to the government. And that is on top of the expressway, which we also have to pay to use. Yep. Thank you. Give me your thoughts on this. Jiri Peter. Kenya tumeanza kuwa watu blood. Finish for yourself. Yeah, right? It's depressing. We'll have to pay to use roads. The expressway and the Rironi Mau Summit Road. Yeah. Somehow we have to pay back these loans. How do you think they're going to get the money to pay back the loans for Yosemite na Koroga na Changarawe na Lami ambayo wametumia? It's from you, your money. That's how they're going to pay back. Anyway, still on cars. Not on the road though, but in the garage. NMS is planning to move the mechanics at Grogan in the CBD to a piece of land that has been fenced off. You probably have seen this if you use Thika Road. The piece of land that has been fenced just near Mathare Hospital. So apparently that's where the mechanics from Grogan will be moved. And the mechanics who operate in that area, they've been talking to NMS and they're not happy about it. But they will have to move because NMS has already started reconstructing the roads around that area. So they will have to go to the new space. And you can see there Mohammed Badi and his team. According to them, they're going to be relocated. They say they'll lose a lot of customers. A lot of people go to fix their cars at Grogan. Yeah, such a famous place. Did you know where Grogan was, Felix? Not really. Felix doesn't know where Grogan is. So Grogan is, the Globe Roundabout. The Globe Roundabout, just as you're getting into town, on just before you get to Kirinyaga Road, around the Nairobi River, that stretch. It's called Grogan. Yeah. Have you ever heard Nyashinsky? A line in one of Nyashinsky's songs that gives a shout out to people at Grogan. This is something like Tunafix Ma Grogan Makorola, something like that. Yeah. So that's where Grogan is. Yeah, they're going to be moved to Thika Road. Now, meanwhile, police arrested 2 people in South B who are suspected to be leading a phone theft crime syndicate. So they recovered 300 phones and other electronics from the suspect's house in South B. So this is what happened. There's a lady in town who had her phone snatched. Actually, 2 of her phones snatched. An iPhone and an expensive Techno, I believe. Yeah. And one of the phones though was connected to her brother's phone, and it could track the signal. So the detectives followed the signal, which was coming from that phone, and it led them straight to the suspect's house, where they discovered other hundreds of phones. So if your phone was snatched in the CBD, it probably ended up in that house in South B. Yeah. Check with the police to see if your phone is one of those. Yeah, it's so sad though. I told you guys I saw someone's phone almost being snatched. This was 2 weeks ago. It's 2 weeks now. And it's the first time I ever saw that happen. I hear a lot of people talk about their phones being snatched in town, but I've never seen it firsthand. I got to see it at that time. I just saw a hand. That's how quick those people are. And they could be taking them to this house in South B, where they get collected, and the police say some of those phones are sold outside the country, even in Tanzania. Yeah. Now, finally, I told you, promised story about the Kenyan who has gotten himself into the Guinness World Book of Records. His name is Alikan Kazia, who now holds the world record for what? Most ping pong balls bounced into a cup in under 60 seconds. That's the picture of him there. The reason why we put the picture of Eliud Kipchoge there is because he's also in the Guinness World Book of Records. We have a couple of Kenyans who are in the Guinness World Book of Records, but now we have a new one. Alikan, who I went to his Instagram. It's private though. Alikan Kazia, but he says he's follow him for crazy table tennis trick shots. Yeah, there's an interview he's done also, and he's actually really good at. Okay, so do we call it table tennis or ping pong? He's good at that. Yeah, so he bounced 17 balls into a cup in under 60 seconds, and that is what got him into the Guinness World Book of Records. Yep, new Kenyan on that list. Okay, so who is Twitter mad about today? The world is talking about the Euros. In fact, people have stopped talking about the BBI hearing because now this is the last day, and we'll now wait for the judgment. So that conversation has lost steam a bit. So people are talking about the Euros today. Belgium. And I asked you, Felix, if we can make a bet on who is going to win the Euros. Yeah. Yeah. If our teams don't qualify, then the bet is cancelled. So you're going with Italy. So today at 10 p.m. it's Belgium and Italy. Also at 7 Switzerland and Spain at 7. And tomorrow, the Czech Republic against Denmark. And then on at 10 p.m. tomorrow, Ukraine and England. So I think at this point, one of these teams is going to win the Euros. So Belgium and Italy. I wanted to pick one.
Like, okay, they're playing against each other. So
Yeah. Definitely one of them is going to win. So at this point, who can you because we need to, for the purposes of making a bet, and for people are watching right now on online, for the purposes of making a bet, who do you pick between all of those teams? Italy are going to win the Euros. Okay, so I am going to make a very controversial pick. I am putting my money on I'm torn between two teams. So and now these are the last seconds before I make a decision, because a man has to die with his choices, right? I am putting my money. Let's bet 500 shillings. Yeah.
okay.
It's fair enough, right? Fair enough? Okay. I will go with Belgium. I think Belgium are going to win this thing. Yeah. I'm putting my money on them.
But you've chosen one of the teams from my...
Yeah. I said Belgium. You said Italy, so if your team loses today, you give me the money. If your team loses today, you give me the money. That's a strategy. Make the bet as short as you can. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm putting my money on Belgium. You're putting your money on Italy. We can make another bet if, yeah, maybe the finals. Things might go very differently, by the way. Yeah, but thank you so much for watching the show. We don't have a lot today, apart from this. Yeah, the Euros. People are talking about the Euros. Today's standout lawyers at the Court of Appeal: John Haminwa, Martha Karua, and yeah, there's nothing really that's so big that's driving the conversation right now. So I guess people are waiting for a big story to go on. Raila Odinga, though, is speaking right now in Nyeri at the barrio of Mumbingaru's mother in Kieni constituency in Nyeri. He's speaking right now. So if you get out of this stream, go to Raila Odinga's page if you want to see what he's saying right now, because I can't root it for you. But thank you so much for watching the show. It's been a great week. Wishing you a great weekend ahead. Whatever you're going to be doing, I wish you blessings and happiness. May your dreams come true. May your teams that you're supporting win in the Euros. And may you have enough money to sustain you for the rest of the month, because we are in the second half of the year. Yes. Do you guys believe it, that we're in the second half of the year? Still hard to believe. Yeah. Thank you so much and goodbye. See you on Monday.